Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to Chapter 20. We're talking about animal structure. We're talking about the different pieces, different bits and pieces it takes to make an animal. Cells working together make tissues, tissues working together make organs, organs working together make organ systems. We said this just a bit ago. What's the job of my stomach? The job of my stomach is to digest my food. Is the stomach alone in that job of digesting your food? And the answer is no. No, it's not. The small intestine, the large intestine, the pancreas, the liver, your mouth, your esophagus, all of these separate organs all work together to accomplish this goal of digesting my food. That's called an organ system. We have 13 organ systems: nervous system, cardiovascular system, digestive system, integumentary system, reproductive system, lots of different systems that make a functional individual. All of them consist of multiple organs. They all accomplish a function that is not done by any other system, and so you can't live without any one of them. Any one of them fails, and you're just dead. They all have to work together to keep you alive. And they do. They do a really good job of that. You've made it this far. None of them work alone, meaning several systems work together. Actually, all of the systems work together to keep you alive. Example, your respiratory system's job is to bring oxygen in and release carbon dioxide. But it can't work without the cardiovascular system, your heart and blood, that moves the oxygen the lungs bring in out to the rest of the body. And it wouldn't have any carbon dioxide to release if the blood didn't bring it from the body back to the lungs. All the organ systems all work together to make you work. Circulatory system, its job is transportation. Moving. Moving what? Moving everything. It moves everything. It moves oxygen. It moves carbon dioxide. It moves food. It moves hormones. It moves wastes. It moves heat. Circulatory system. It moves everything. The respiratory system. Its job is gas exchange. You would say, well, what's the job of my respiratory system? The job of my respiratory system is to breathe. When you say breathe, you mean take in air and release air, right? You know the air that you take in contains oxygen. You would probably guess the air that you release contains less oxygen and more carbon dioxide. And that is true. The air that you release has less oxygen in it than you took in, and more carbon dioxide than you took in, So gas exchange is this process of taking oxygen out of the air and releasing carbon dioxide back to it. And all living things have to perform gas exchange. Everything has to perform gas exchange. Some have a very detailed, very complicated systems for doing so. Some don't have as complicated. And when we talk about the different systems as we get there, we'll explain it. So here we see the two different systems we just talked about. Cardiovascular system, sending blood throughout the body, but again, big deal, I'm just sending blood throughout the body. Sending blood throughout the body without anything in it would be pointless. The whole point is the blood is carrying stuff. What is it carrying? Well, in this example, it's talking about carrying oxygen and carbon dioxide. And where did that oxygen and carbon dioxide have to come from? It had to come from the respiratory system. Two different systems that work together to keep us alive. The integumentary system is this. The integumentary system is your skin. Its job is to keep the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. And to be fair, its primary job is to keep bad stuff out, but it does have a significant job, significant importance in keeping good stuff in. The job of your skin, the job of your integumentary system, one of its jobs is to protect you against injury. And injury can have a variety of definitions. And you go, well, I don't think mine's very good then, because I get hurt all dang time. Your skin is actually really good at resisting being cut or scraped or bumped. It's very good protection. And you go, that's a lie. I get cut all the time. I got scrapes all the time. I got some cuts right here. Look. If you've ever seen fresh brain tissue, you can pinch pieces of it off with your fingers. If you've ever seen fresh lung tissue, you can scoop bits out with your hands. If you've ever seen fresh liver tissue, you can do the same thing. You can stick your fingers right into the liver and just pull it apart. Can you do that with skin? Can you pinch pieces of it off? Can you gouge it out? Can you tear it just by pulling it apart like that? And the answer is no, you can't. It's actually really tough, comparatively speaking, compared to the very soft organs inside your body, like your brain, like your lungs, like your liver. Its first job is to protect us against physical damage. Next job is it protects us against biological damage. It's really good at protecting us against infection. Exhibit A, what kills burn patients? It's not the burn that kills the burn patient. It's the infections that they get. Why do burn patients get terrible infections? Because you have just destroyed the wall around their city, and now any invader can just come charging in and march through the streets. That's what your skin is like. Your skin is like the wall around your city, protecting you against invasions. Your skin protects you against heat and cold. When you sweat, that's protecting you against heat. When you get goosebumps, that's one of the things that protects us against cold. Our skin actually protects us against dehydration. The oil that our skin makes, that oil's job is to keep water in, to keep us from losing water. Your skin has 4 different methods for holding water in. Your skin is waterproof 4 different ways to keep water in, to keep you from dehydrating. Here we see a cross-section of skin. There is this fat layer underneath our skin. Here is your dermis, which we talked about before is mostly connective tissue. And this top little bit here is your epidermis. This is the top layer. This is what you see right here. That's epidermis. This stuff right here, the top layer of your epidermis, is that stratified squamous epithelial tissue. What did we say is always underneath of epithelial tissue? Connective. But this isn't just tissue, this is an organ. Organs are made of several tissues. Well, epithelial, connective. Here's that muscle I was telling you about. Remember when I said that when you get goosebumps, it's because muscle is contracting your skin? What happens is this muscle right here contracts. And what it does is it forces the hair to stand upright, and it pulls the skin down around the hair. It doesn't actually force the hair up. It pulls the skin down around it. That's why you get goosebumps. And then here are nerves. These are nerve fibers running to the just underneath of my skin so that I can feel stuff. All of the stuff that you feel has to be transmitted through these top layers of epithelial tissues. This is a sample of skin. This is part of your integumentary system. We've got glands. Here's a sweat gland. Here's an oil gland. We have blood vessels. Very complicated. Your skin is a heck of a lot more complicated than most people give it credit for. It's actually quite complicated.